Where do I start for Turbo Kid? Welcome, guys, to Think About It Reviews. And this was actually a film recommended to me by my friend. And it's on Netflix, so you could check it out yourself. It's definitely a low budget kind of movie. This actually has three directors. Three directors part of this film. We have Francis Simard, Annika Wissel, Yono Carl Wissel. Listen, all right, I could barely pronounce these fucking names. It's starring Monroe Chambers, Lawrence LaBeouf, Michael Ironside. Michael Ironside, of course, he's known. You know him. Edwin Wright. I mean, this is really. I think Michael's the only one that you kind of are familiar with. I think is he the voice of Splinter Cell, I believe, or something like that. And I think Monroe Chambers. I heard that he is actually a kid from Degrassi, and Monroe Chambers plays the kid. Um, or Ewan. Or yeah, he plays just the kid. And then we have Lawrence LaBeouf playing Apple, Michael Ironside playing Zeus. Um, but it's all about Monroe Chambers as the kid, Turbo Kid, so to speak. So I'm just gonna read you this plot real quick. Look at in an alternate 1997 post-apocalyptic society lives a land nicknamed the Wasteland that is littered with trash. It is ruled by a sadistic and tyrannical or whatever monster overlord named Zeus, who uses a device to grind captives into water. The kid, a teenage comic book fan, scavenges the waste on his BMX bike. Yes, you heard it, BMX bike, to trade with junk dealer Bagoo. And then along the way, he finds Apple, and Apple is just like this crazy, looks like Gem. She looks like Gem, all right? She looks like Gem, and she just follows this kid around. They become friends, and they're got to fight against this guy, this tyrant who controls the wasteland and water. I mean, you want to know what Turbo Kid's about? It's about maybe a little teeny bit of Mad Max and a lot of Tank Girl. I mean, when I was watching this film, I'm like, this is Tank Girl. This is, especially with the water and especially with the wasteland and especially the looniness and the outrageousness that's going on in this film. I was like, this is fucking Tank Girl. All right, this is Tank Girl 2.0. Now, this movie is very low budget. You could tell by the effects, but it's actually not too bad. It's not too bad. Directed, cinematography, overall, the score as well. The score has this 80s type feel to it. This is an 80s type feel movie. So like it's set in 1997. It's an alternate 1997. So that's right there. It tells you right away what this film is going to be about. Now, it was funny. Like, I didn't know if this was a comedy, if this was somewhat trying to be serious. Like, I had to figure out, is this film trying to be serious or not? And honestly, a little bit of both. It's trying to be a little bit serious of what it's doing and how it's directed, but it is loony. I mean, there is blood just going everywhere when some of these people die. You have a cowboy who's supposed to be he kicks ass because he can arm wrestle good. That's what he does. You have Turbo, the kid, aka Turbo Kid, reading his hero, who's Turbo Man. Turbo Man. And no, this is not Jingle All the Way, like Turbo Man. And I guess he was real. Oh, I don't want to spoil it, but I think I just did. Ah, fuck it. Anyway, this has been on quite enough. All right, you'll see. All right, there's Turbo Man, and then this kid is Turbo. I mean, it's called Turbo Kid, for God's sakes. Listen. The bad guys and the heroes get around not by vehicles. It's not Mad Max. It's not that Mad Max. They don't go by like motorcycles, cars, trucks, monster trucks, whatever you want to think of, 4x4s. No, they don't get around with that. They get around with BMX bikes. They get around with bikes. Now think about that for a moment. There is one particular scene in this film where it's been established that they get around with bikes, right? But I just can't take it seriously. There was one moment where the hero, the kid, and Apple are hiding out from these bad guys, especially with the guy with the mask. And you know what you hear? You to build up the tension, to build up the suspense, you hear pedals. you just you hear pedals, and I'm just like, I can't take it seriously, man. This really, really, but this film is not terrible. I mean, I think it depends on the person who's viewing it. Either you go along with it or you don't. If you don't go along with it, you're gonna think this is the most shittiest movie you've ever seen in your life. But I went along with it. I turned off my brain, even though I still had the critique, and I said, screw it. Let's just see how this works out. And there is a lot of positive things about this film. I do like the look a lot of these characters have, even though it's very color. There's a lot of color involved with a lot of the designs that they have for these characters, which is great. It's great to see a film actually have color and not have this just black or darkness within it. The villain, typical villain. What can I say? A lot of just typical characters in here, but there is Apple. I really did like Apple. Now, Apple is pretty much the kid's sidekick. The kid himself, he's not too bad. He's very, I don't want to say he's relatable, but you root for him along the way. You definitely root for the friendship between him and Apple. And I think that's what works about this film, is the friendship that they form and the bond they have. I think a lot of it works too with this other villain who wears a mask. I think his name is Skeletron. Who's played by Edwin Wright. Now, Skeletron looks cool. I mean, granted, he does have like football gear on, but he looks really, really cool. I actually really dug that villain, especially with his saw that he has a saw. He has like a built-in saw where he cuts people up. So I really did like that villain. So I think he was a shining moment in this film, along with Apple and the kid's relationship. Now, the cowboy guy, I think his name was Frederick. I'm not quite sure. But he wasn't too bad as well. I think I would have liked a little bit more of a character of him instead of just like, this macho kind of guy, but it is what it is. Like I said, I thought the music was definitely not too bad. The music was by Jean-Philippe Beniard, and I'm not sure if he did Kung Fury as well. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I'm not sure. But overall, this film isn't too bad. Like, if you just go with it, it's not too bad. Sometimes it's a lot of fun. It is. It's a lot of fun just to watch, and just how ridiculous and over the top it is. But there is some good things about it. I mean, with the low budget they had, they did make use of a lot of the settings, especially there's a couple settings here and there that I really dug. There's like this pool kind of massacre that goes on. Like the fight to the death where we learn about water. There's a lot of dirt around. There's a lot for the budget they had a lot of they had to do what they had to do. And for the budget they had, I thought they did great on the setting. So Turbo Kid, it's not the greatest film in the world. You're not going to get a masterpiece here. You're not going to get something revolutionary. But like my friend said, it is what it is. I mean, it's just a cool little flick to check out. So it's on Netflix. It's free. So I think if you like the zany, the over-the-topness, the out there, or really use of just throwing it back to the 80s as well. If you liked Kung Fury, I think you'll enjoy this flick. I think a lot of people will not, either take it, just go with it, or not take it seriously at all and say this is the shittiest movie I've ever seen. But I did not take it seriously, and I just went with it, and it helped. It helped a lot. And I think this film it leaves a lasting impression in me, actually. It makes me think about, like, how low budget it was and how much they accomplished. So I got to give it that. I really do got to give it that. So that's why I'm going to recommend you check out Turbo Kid. It's definitely, I think it's going to have a cult following, and I think it's worth the watch for free on Netflix. If nothing else, to laugh and just enjoy with your friends. It's definitely a film you should check out with all your friends. So I want to thank you guys for listening. You can always hit that subscribe button. Would love for you to hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you like it, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Turbo Kid if you have checked it out. It's on Netflix, like I said, so check it out if you want to. I'm Dan Making Danny's son. Like I always say, grab a tick, grab a seat. Make sure you got some good popcorn, you guys. I'll see you at the cinema. Bye, guys.